Hello, everyone. My name is Jimin Rim, and I'm a postdoc at McGill University at the RAISE Lab, directed by Dr. Ajong Moon. Today, I would like to share how we adopted the competition as a novel design method to develop and evaluate ethical robots. I believe that we are here today with a shared goal as HRI practitioners or researchers to discuss how we could advance the HRI evaluation methods or metrics. From this year's HRI, the organizers of this workshop provided very insightful analysis of metrics and methods in research from HRI. Having such standardized metrics are very powerful because this means that consistent and repeated comparisons of one HRI design from another is feasible, which leverages more objective and concrete discussion points. The metrics from the previous slide can measure various aspects, such as users' perceived intelligence of the robot, or quantify the temporal demand one felt during interacting with the robot. But what if there's no scale or test method to measure certain contexts of HRI? I'm not indicating the pros and cons of adopting quantitative or qualitative methods to measure the quality of HRI, but I'm trying to bring into light that we need to find alternative approaches to evaluate certain contexts of HRI. For instance, measuring height of a new robot is pretty straightforward. But what about something intangible and seemingly a vague concept, such as measuring the ethical implications of a robot design? As more robots enter our social spaces and interact with humans in everyday tasks, ethically sensitive situations are bound to occur more frequently. Therefore, considering ethical impact of robot design is a very timely subject. Let's take a look at an example. In a household, a mother who is owner of a home assistant robot commands the robot to fetch her teenage daughter's diary. Should the robot follow such an instruction? One might say no, because the robot's decision could invade another user's privacy. Another might say yes, because the robot should do what it's asked to do. They both could be right in terms of their evaluation of robots' decisions with ethical implications. However, without validation, it would be difficult to make concrete progress toward designing robots that can navigate ethically sensitive contexts. The notion of evaluating the ethics of something is extremely difficult, not to mention how well ethics considerations have been implemented into an interactive robot design seem almost like an impossible task. Due to this complexity, there is no agreed upon means to evaluate ethical dimensions in HRI, despite over 20 years of effort in considering ethics in robotics. This highlights the importance of adopting new ways to evaluate the ethics in HRI, because it's difficult to advance any scientific field of study without a common evaluation or analysis framework. Then, what makes measuring the ethical implications of robotic design or human-robot interactions so challenging? It's because the normative quality of HRI design consideration and the resulting interactive robot behaviors do not seem to be a straightforward translation of the human-human interaction framework. More specifically, morality is pluralistic and relativistic. What I mean by pluralism is that morality is very spectral. My perception and yours would significantly differ. Also, even when a same individual faces morally salient context with different characteristics, he or she would make different moral reasonings as he or she would do in another context. Thus, we need to acknowledge that morality is pluralistic in nature. Furthermore, even if there are some universal moral values, such as care and trust, how they are expressed and perceived in terms of ethical standards will differ by groups or cultures. Due to the confounding and complex nature of morality, it's almost impossible to find a clear-cut answer to what is ethically right or wrong. Consequently, we posit that determining multifaceted of moral dimensions is imperative when evaluating ethics in HRI. We tested this multifaceted nature of ethics consideration in HRI by hosting the first of its kind roboethics themed design competition. During the Roman conference last year, we launched the initial roboethics competition with the collaboration from RoboHub from U of Waterloo, University of British Columbia, and Open Roboethics Institute. We adopted the competition format as a means to collect a variety of design solutions to a narrowly defined interaction test and designed an evaluation scheme for judging ethics considerations of the submissions. Today, we will focus more on the rationale for developing the metrics to evaluate the ethical notions of robotic design instead of robustness or validity of the metrics. We kept these 3 points in mind when developing the evaluation metrics. First, to evaluate the quality of ethics consideration in the robot design. Second, to test the feasibility of creating a competition for the advancement of roboethics. And third, to test the efficacy of the prototype evaluation framework. To evaluate the normative quality of the design submissions, we developed a questionnaire grounded in the ethics and science and technology studies. Furthermore, we prioritized practicality, accessibility, and pluralism when developing the novel metrics to measure the ethical robot design outcomes. By practicality, we aim to make a measurement that could be adopted within a reasonable amount of time. By accessibility, we aim to make measurement that could be adopted by judges without prior training of ethics nor robotics. And by pluralism, we aim to accept diverse moral perspectives and avoid assumption that a single moral theory is ideal when evaluating the robotic system. Following is a brief summary of the evaluation scheme. We used 5-point Likert scale to measure the solution for ethical scenarios, creativity and innovations, practicality, and applicability. The table on the right shows guiding questions that describe multiple ethical theories in application of robotic design solutions. Furthermore, the judging rubric included section for judges to provide qualitative rationale for their scores to accommodate the subjective nature of morality. Participating teams were asked to provide project report, video presentation, and technical implementation in Python code to delineate their robot design with ethics in mind. 8 judges from multidisciplinary backgrounds such as philosophy, computer science, layperson evaluated the participating team's robotic solutions. As only one team submitted the full deliverables, they automatically became the winner of the last year's competition. The participating team submission provided a concrete example of robot behaviors that are designed with ethics in mind for the home environment. For instance, the team provided rule-based approach as one of the solutions. The judges provided various perspectives based on this concrete robotic solution. For instance, while one judge commented that the rule-based approach is easily programmable, so it's practical, but another judge highlighted that it's neither practical nor possible to define rules for every single item in the household. So this paper outlines the rationale for adopting competition as a means to design and evaluate robot design with ethical considerations. We admit that there is a long road to advance the metrics. So I would like to ask some open questions for everyone in this workshop. As HRI community, what do we need to consider to define and measure ethics in both the robot design and implementation process and in measuring the quality of ethics in HRI? For instance, we know that different cultures favor different morality, but does that mean we need to provide separate scales for different cultures? Or to what degree should we moderate to consider the generalizability of the novel metrics? We might be opening the can of worms on robots by asking these questions, but I believe that as a community, we can advance the development of a framework to evaluate normative quality of an interactive robotic system. As one way to do this, I invite all of you to join the next round of roboethics competition at ICRA this May. Thank you very much. And if you would like to know the full details, please check out the website and paper which will be presented at ICRA this year. And I would also like to thank Ivado and Ministry of Economy and Innovation for supporting this research. Thank you.